Some pressure coming, gets it away, and that's intercepted! That's what they were looking for, Katsantanis, and he's going to take it back down! Nobody's going to catch him! Katsantanis says, here it is!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going in depth on how to be a great safety. If you haven't watched the part 1 video of how to play football in the safety position, make sure you guys check out in the top right hand corner right up there. Go click on that video, watch it, and then come back to this one. In the last video we covered 5 key points. Those were football IQ, how to be a leader, agility and speed, being physical, and taking calculated risk. Before we dive into today's video, YouTube is telling me that 95% of you aren't subscribed that are watching my videos. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications bell so you guys can stay up to date with all of my latest football videos, real estate videos, and more. Make sure you guys give me a follow on Instagram, like my Facebook page, and follow me on TikTok. And if you can, hit this video with a thumbs up button and leave me a comment if you have any questions about how to play football, the safety position, or any position for that matter, and I will do my best to reach back out to you and answer that question. Now, without further ado, let's dive into it. Now again, like we were talking about in the last video, there's no real order to any of these points that I'm giving you today. Again, we're just going to dive into some more helpful tips that will really help you develop and transform you into a better free safety. So starting off with our first tip of the day, film. A lot of people have left comments on my previous video about, film, how to watch film, and I'm going to let you guys know we are going to be bringing an exclusive film and how to watch film video and break down, the X's and O's and all that stuff. But for today's video on what's going to make you the best safety, film is going to be the starter, okay? That is going to be your money maker. It's going to be where you're going to spend most of your time outside of the football field, okay? So we're going to want to learn our X's and O's, okay? So most people, if you don't know what the X's and O's are, those are the little circles and X's that you see drawn up in your playbooks and what have you. So we're going to want to learn those. The O's are for offense and the X's are for defense. So you're really going to want to try to watch as much film as you can, during your week, when you're preparing for an opponent, or even in your off season, whatever opponent that may be. And that's going to be the key, is watching film until you are basically second nature when you get on the football field. So what that means by second nature is when you see a formation leading up to playing somebody in practice, is you've watched it on film so many times that when you're out there on the football field, that you know what that formation is, you know what play is coming, and you're able to react as such. When watching film, you're going to be wanting to look for specific key giveaways. When you're watching film, you're going to be wanting to look for any key giveaways or tendencies that any players are leaning towards when they're playing the game, okay? So that could be anything, from an offensive standpoint. If you're looking at a receiver and breaking down film, and you notice that every time the receiver breaks the huddle, he licks his hands, and that means it's going to be a pass, okay? Those are simple things like that. Or every time the quarterback breaks the huddle, he taps his right leg, that results in a pass. Every time he taps his right leg, they're going to throw the ball. So things like that are things that you're going to want to look out for when you're watching film, because they really can be a difference maker when you get into the game. If you can find a tendency or a giveaway that a player does before the snap, that can be game changer in whether it's a win or loss for your team. If you know what play's coming based off of what the player's doing on the other side of the ball, that can be a huge benefit for you as a free safety. Going deeper into understanding the opponent, you're really going to want to understand formations. Again, what formations are out there, what formations that other team is running, what they like to go with. Usually when you're playing a team, they have 1 to 2 formations that they're go-to formations when they're on the field, okay? So learning what those are and understanding where they run the ball, what side of the field they throw the ball to in those formations can really benefit you as a player once you get into the game. Like I said, we'll be breaking down a full film video on how to watch film properly in the future. Now we're going to move on to strength and conditioning. So a lot of people have asked me in my previous video comments on, how they can start training, how they can start putting on weight for football, and, what they need to start doing for weightlifting and things like that. The first thing that you're going to want to do is find a good trainer, in your local community. Even if you have to drive half an hour and that's where the best trainer is, I highly suggest doing so. Or maybe you don't have those abilities to drive somewhere and you're just able to work out at your house. Find a good trainer online. Most of them have online regimens now, especially with the coronavirus. Almost all gym trainers have online programs that you can do, whether that be just body weight, or if you have access to set of weights, they have those as well. So that's going to be the key. Go on Instagram, find a good trainer. Be careful. There's bad people out there everywhere, okay? I'm not here to knock any trainer that's out there, but you guys have to be careful, okay? So just really study who the trainer is. Make sure they're highly reputable. You know, they train professional athletes. That's usually the number one thing. If they train professional athletes, they're usually a good trainer to go to, okay? So try to reach out to them via Instagram, give them a phone call, you know, have your parents reach out to them and try to get you into a training program, whether that be at their local gym or if they can give you an online program that you can do from your home. The next one is going to be knowing your body, okay? So you want to make sure that you're never overexhausting yourself when you're training, okay? So that's one of the hardest things that I've learned, you know, over the years of working out. I always thought, you know, working out was, you know, I want to work out really hard and I almost want to feel like, you know, I'm about to throw up or I'm about to fall over. That's actually very bad for you. You can really hurt your muscles if they're not, you know, prepped in that way. I'm not saying to not train hard, guys. Don't get me wrong. You need to be training hard, you know, every single day and preparing yourself for when game day comes. But you just really want to be careful when you're training. You don't want to be overexhausting yourself. You don't want to feel like, you know, after one workout, like you're going to pass out or throw up. You know, sometimes throwing up will happen. Trust me, you'll get a workout. You know, maybe you haven't worked out in a few weeks. You might feel like you got to throw up, but you shouldn't get to the point where you're feeling like you're going to pass out. If you're getting to that point, you should stop, drink some water, take some time to recover, and then get back to your workout, see if you're feeling up to it, and finish the workout. It can be bad for you when you're working out and you feel exhausted. You can pull or strain a muscle, and nobody wants to have that happen. The biggest thing in football is to be healthy. If you want to get on the field and you want to stay on the field, you got to learn to be healthy. So maximizing your recovery time, your therapy, getting all the daily necessity things that you need to get in, nutrition, all that stuff goes into it. Even your sleep, you got to be sleeping, you know, at least 8 hours a night in order to get those full recovery nights. Trust me, you don't want to be up till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning playing video games, playing Fortnite, because it's not going to help you. At the end of the day, unless you want to be a professional Fortnite player, which by all means, if that's what you want to do, go out there and get it. But if professional football is on your mind, you can't be doing that, you know, especially as a young athlete growing up. You have to make sure that you guys are staying in shape, okay? Football is a year-round sport. Many people think that, oh, when football season's over, I take, you know, 2-3 months off and then I start training again. That could be further from the truth, guys. You have to be training year-round, or else, again, you're going to risk getting hurt, getting injured. And again, if you get hurt or injured, it's only going to set you back from what you want to do in football. Okay, so make sure you guys are training year round. If you take some time off, you know, a few days, a week off, that's okay, but make sure you guys are training year round, training your muscles, prepping them to be ready for those car collisions that you're going to see once you get into the season. Another thing that kind of goes into strength and conditioning, especially if you're in high school, is to play multiple sports. I would really advise everyone that's watching this, if you're in high school or junior high, that you play multiple sports. It's only going to shape you into a better football player, make you a better all-around athlete, and it's only going to build your, you know, your characteristic traits, make you become a better leader, better teammate, all of that good stuff. Again, working out should be fun, and it also should be competitive. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to wake up every day and be like, I'm ready to work out. There are some days where you're going to wake up and you're going to wonder, how am I going to get through this workout today? You just got to push yourself. Again, you can bring in that competitive spirit into that as well. Maybe find a workout partner or, you know, a fellow teammate of yours to work out with and really push each other to be the best that you can be on and off the field. Now, going into the next tip, you need to be able to cover ground. So what does that mean? I'm sure most everybody here has heard the terms, you know, you need to be an east-west and a north-south player. So what does that mean? Some people that haven't heard that, east-west means, you know, essentially means sideline to sideline, right? North-south means goal line to goal line, okay? So as a free safety, you're going to need to be able to play both ways. You got to be able to move side to side and forward backwards. Also, as a free safety, you're going to need to be able to be comfortable playing in man coverage, okay? A lot of times free safeties think, or people who watch free safeties think, that we just sit back there and we just cover ground the whole time. That is not always true. We do have to sometimes come down, play man-to-man on a receiver, and usually it's a slot receiver, which is the fastest player on the field. So you have to be comfortable with that. In my early years of college, I used to think, oh, I don't really need to be a good man coverage player because I'm a free safety. I'm going to be back all the time. That's not that big of a deal. I learned really quickly that to be a better free safety, I needed to be able to play man coverage and help my team out. It can be intimidating playing man-to-man coverage. Playing corner isn't for everyone, and that's why there's certain players that play corner and are comfortable with playing man coverage. So as a free safety, you're only going to be a more valuable valuable asset if you can be comfortable in man coverage. Make sure as a free safety that you're always running to where the ball is, regardless of what's happening on the play. Whether it's 100-yard, you got to chase the guy down and try to get there and you're on the opposite side of the field, or there's a big pass play and you're way out of the picture, just run to the ball. I can't tell you how many times I've ran to the ball and the ball's either popped out or, been tipped and I somehow come away with an interception or a fumble recovery or something of that nature, okay? You just never know. When you get around the ball, good things happen. So just make sure that you're always hustling to the ball, whistle to whistle. You also need to understand who you're going against and how to utilize your skills against them, okay? So for me, for example, when I'm playing in games, I make sure that I know what receivers are on my, field side, boundary side, what my responsibilities are and what my capabilities are, right? I'm no 4-3, 4-4 runner. So if I'm going against someone that's a 4-4, 4-3, I got to make sure that I'm aligning properly, whether that's pre-snap alignment, disguising my pre-snap alignment, or even post-snap, how I'm moving in what area of the field that I'm getting to, okay? So know your capabilities, know who you're going against, and how you can use what you know about that player against them. Getting into the final thing that we're going to talk about today, being a cerebral player, or, really realistically, just having great awareness on the football field. As a free safety, you're going to have to be an on-the-go multitasker. And what that really means, you're going to need to be able to do multiple things at once. You're going to need to be able to recognize and call out formations, communicate with the players around you, letting them know what coverages you're in. If you need to make an audible check, also knowing the down and distance. Is it 1st and 10? Is it 2nd and 2? What possible plays does the offense run when it's these down and distances, okay? Even to the things of knowing what the score is, how much time's left on the clock. There's so many things that go into playing the free safety position. You really have to be a good multitasker and ready to handle multiple things at a time. Getting a little bit deeper into the know your down and distance and tendencies, again, that word coming back up from our first point early on. You're gonna wanna know down and distance, and here's why. Let's just say, for example, it's 3rd and 4, and it's a little bit outside of the run zone, but they're right on that area where they can run, a short pass play to the sticks. You'll hear stick routes a lot, okay? So I always remind my corners and linebackers when it's a 3rd and 4, or in Canada, a 2nd and 4, because you punt on 3rd down. When it's a 2nd and 4, 3rd and 4, that, hey, stick routes, stick routes, stick routes, okay? That's a big thing, because most of the time when the offense is out, it's a little too far away to run the ball to get a first down, but they're in that mid-range pass area. They usually run stick routes where the receivers know that they run about 1 to 2 yards in front of the first down and then sit right there waiting for the ball to be thrown to them so they can get a first down. So I always remind my corners and linebackers, and even myself, if I happen to be man coverage on that play, that, hey, watch out for the stick routes. They're not going to try to throw a bomb, which could happen, but more than likely, the statistics usually say that they're not going to throw a bomb. They're going to try to get that first down. So being aware of the down and distance, again, tendencies, all that stuff can really factor into whether you make a play or they get the first down. You need to be able to track the ball in the air. And this may seem like an easy thing, right? You see the ball in the air, you think, okay, well, I just have to jump up and, grab onto it with my hands. There's a lot that goes into it, right? If you're tracking a ball, let's say down the field, someone's throwing a post route and you're tracking the ball, right? Well, more than likely, you're not backpedaling if the guy's running in post. You're probably either facing him, kind of doing a side run with him, or you're just full chasing him down, trying to get to where the ball is going to be thrown, okay? So you got to realize how to track the ball in the air, once you get your back onto the opponent and kind of turn around. Sometimes the ball always, not sometimes, the ball is always higher than it seems, okay? So make sure that you're always practicing, have someone throw the ball high up in the air, practice jumping up and trying to get it at its highest point. That's a real key thing of making interceptions in football, is high pointing the ball, okay? A lot of receivers don't expect DBs to jump up and high point the ball, okay? So make sure you're working on that. Have someone just, throw the ball up as high as they can up in the air and try to gauge it coming down and jump up and try to make a play on it, okay? So that'll transition into the field as well, but be able to track a ball in the air and come down with it. The last thing here is going to be aware of what each player's responsibilities are around you, okay? As a free safety, again, kind of going back to the communication part, where you have to communicate with other players, let them know what the play is, what kind of coverage you're running, if there's an audible coming. You also need to know what each player around you is doing, okay? This is only going to help you in your pre-snap alignment and post-snap play, okay? So you got to know what that linebacker in front of you is doing, what the field corner is doing, what the boundary corner is doing. Sometimes it even helps to know what the D-line is doing and what kind of stunts they're running, because, you might want to know how long it's going to take for them to get to the quarterback but that's another game within itself. But you really want to know what all your linebackers doing, what the rest of the secondary is doing. That way you can play the game based on what they're doing. Align, maybe sometimes disguise your alignment because hey, the linebacker's playing a little bit outside leverage, so I'll also play outside leverage as well. That way I can trick the quarterback into thinking he's got a free release inside, and right on the snap, I move back inside. Okay, so things like that. That's why you really want to know what everyone else is doing. And the other reason, sometimes people forget. I've had a bunch of times on the field where I have a player that, just forgets what's going on. That thing that happens when the bolts are flying. It's just that adrenaline buildup. Sometimes your brain just doesn't process things. So knowing what another player is supposed to be doing can help in game. When someone forgets, you say, hey, this is what you got to do. You're covering this zone. So that's another video here, our part 2 to how to be a great safety. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, 95% of you are not subscribed to the channel that are watching this right now. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Turn on the post notifications bell. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, like my page on Facebook, and follow me on TikTok. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit it with the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment on what you guys liked about this video, any questions you have, and what you want to see in future videos regarding football. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.